In my recent videos, I have consistently emphasized that the fundamental reason for the conflict between the US and India is that Trump wants to extort India. However, his approach is too harsh, causing the guard dog to bite back at its master to express dissatisfaction. This tense relationship will likely end when the master tosses a bone, and the guard dog returns to its post. India cannot turn against the US because it depends on the US in multiple areas. On September 5th, Trump stated at the White House that he has always been Modi's friend and emphasized that there is no need to worry about US and India relations, attempting to downplay earlier remarks about India leaning toward China. While he reiterated dissatisfaction with India's purchase of Russian oil, he also noted that the relationship between the two countries is special, with only occasional friction. On September 6th, Modi responded on the X platform, stating that he deeply appreciates and fully agrees with President Trump's assessment and positive affirmation of our relationship, emphasizing that India and the US share a highly positive and forward-looking comprehensive global strategic partnership. This is seen as a positive response to Trump's statement, aiming to stabilize bilateral relations. However, we also noticed that Modi will not attend the UN General Assembly in New York in September, sending Foreign Minister Jaishankar instead. This arrangement is worth discussing. On one hand, during Modi's visit to China, he likely pleaded with Xi Jinping for rare earths, urea, other raw materials, and components to alleviate the immense pressure India faces from China's restrictions. Until these urgently needed supplies arrive, he cannot immediately turn to the US and cozy up to Trump. On the other hand, he also uses this opportunity to project a tough image to his citizens, urging the US and Trump to offer more benefits, or else he might fully align with China. Therefore, my advice to the Chinese government has always been simple. If you must choose between a snake and India, you can only trust the snake. Any expectation that India will change is futile. The foreign policy of Modi and the BJP government can be simply described as a stray dog approach. Whoever tosses it more bones, it guards their gate. Signing any agreement or reaching any cooperative intention with such a country is pointless. Look at Iran, for example. At critical moments, India refuses even to condemn Israel, and many Indians serve as spies for Mossad. There have also been multiple public demonstrations in India supporting Israel. In dealing with India, the Chinese government can apply ancient Chinese wisdom and adopt a monkey taming strategy. Whenever Modi is humiliated by Trump or India faces extortion from the US, China should take out a handful of peanuts and toss a couple to the monkey. If it wants more peanuts, it must perform harder. For each trick it performs, toss it one peanut, not a single one more. Sometimes, even if it performs enthusiastically and does several tricks at once, still give it only one peanut. Don't worry about it getting angry, because it understands that only by continuing to perform will it get more peanuts. If you toss all the peanuts to it at the start, it won't perform for you after eating them. Yes, for a monkey, your strategy should be to tame it, not to move it emotionally, because it is loyal only to the person holding the peanuts, not the one who treats it best. The US 50% tariff on India has already taken effect, and I predict India won't last until the end of this year. India's trade with the US accounts for 3.5% of its GDP, while US exports to India account for only 0.3% of its GDP. The US can easily find substitutes for Indian goods, but many of India's imports from the US are essential. Both the US and India are heavily indebted countries, with a significant portion of annual government revenue used to pay interest. The US controls the issuance of the dollar and can transfer economic crises by printing money, though with significant side effects. It is feasible. India's rupee already lacks international credibility, and if it prints recklessly, it could become worthless like Zimbabwe's currency. Similarly, the US can print money to buy goods and services, while India, a trade deficit country, relies heavily on industrial goods and raw materials from China, with an annual trade deficit of nearly $100 billion, essential for sustaining economic development. Without a trade surplus with the US, India's economic cycle could collapse, leading to government bankruptcy and business failures. From a rational perspective, Modi would be wise to surrender to Trump by October and go to Washington to cozy up to him. Once the economic cycle is disrupted, recovery takes time. In the less than 1 month remaining, Modi's top concern is when China's rare earths, urea, and other goods India needs will arrive. Therefore, I suggest the Chinese government approve some supplies to address some of India's problems, letting it taste the sweetness of peanuts. However, don't provide enough to fully resolve India's issues. Keep it hungry, making it clear that if it turns hostile to China again, it will lose the chance to get peanuts entirely. This way, Modi won't dare betray China during negotiations with the US. Indian netizens often ask in my comments section why I can't analyze issues objectively and always use derogatory terms like stray dog, two-headed snake, chameleon, or monkey to describe India. I want to say that my metaphors may sound crude, but none of these labels were created by me. They were placed on India by countries worldwide based on its government's diplomatic actions over decades. It is your country that lacks credibility, betrays allies, pursues profit above all, and shifts stances. These metaphors effectively help people from other countries understand India and avoid being taken advantage of when dealing with it. If you consistently value your credibility, honor commitments to allies, and maintain an independent diplomatic stance, your reputation will naturally improve, earning more positive labels. I also suggest new viewers of my channel check out my older videos to see how I predicted India's diplomatic dilemmas 6 months ago and whether those predictions are 100% accurate today. In fact, I have also predicted many tech topics, as well as various aspects of the China and US trade and tech wars, with high accuracy. I'm not boasting, but I want to clarify that I'm not a video blogger who thrives on stirring extreme emotions. My videos not only have high completion rates, but also maintain a like rate of about 97%. I am a very rational blogger, though my tone carries strong sarcasm. You can keep following my predictions about India and judge me by the end of the year. As a Chinese person, I hope India distances itself from the US and works with China to build the BRICS payment system. Although India is not a trustworthy country, the world needs a payment system independent of the dollar and SWIFT. However, I must say this does not align with India's national interests, as serving as the US's guard dog is more suitable for India. This aligns with decades of Indian media propaganda and avoids the fundamental contradictions between China and India over border issues and Pakistan. But India's current problem is that Trump disrespects Modi and frequently extorts him. If Modi continues to cozy up to Trump despite humiliation, the myth of a rising Bharat empire and superpower status crafted by Modi and the BJP will be shattered. The GDP data falsification by Modi and the BJP, along with their cover-up of the Sindoor operation's failure and other shady actions, will also be exposed. This could lead to Modi and the BJP losing their ruling position. Therefore, choosing between India's national interests and Modi's personal interests is a significant test for Modi and the BJP government. The current dilemma was entirely created by Modi, this clown. All we need to do is pull up a chair, bring some melon seeds, peanuts, and drinks, and toy with this monkey king, Modi.